And we are live. Hello, Nuno. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. And you?
Very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
I brought here today a really interesting subject. I always find them interesting. My bad. Sorry about it. But today, the subject of our life is smarter routines. And I know some people that are not really fans of routines, but I have to admit that I love them. And I'm going to explain you why. Uh, of course, if our people that are watching us have heard us talking about our brain and the automatic responses as a way to save uses a lot of energy. It's not an efficient organ at all. So everything our brain or our organism can make to help us save energy, it's going to do. And since our brain uses around 25% of our energy, it's smart to save some if we can. And the way to do that is to have automatic responses. And usually we use this explanation when we are talking about breaking the automatic responses that we don't want to keep having.
Mhm.
But there is a different point of view about that. That is, when are they useful for us? And most time it is useful for us. And the routine is one of most important things to help us save energy from our brain. What do you mean saying that, Fernanda? Can you give me an example? Of course. You know, when people decide to have better habits, for example, eating better, have better nutrition. When you wake up in the beginning of the day, it's easy. Okay, let me decide what I'm going to eat today instead of a grilled cheese and frappuccino. I am going to have some eggs, some fruit, some yogurt, some black coffee, things like that. But in those cases, you have to make a lot of decisions to have a better meal, a better nutrition, a better result. But how is it at the end of the day? Oh my God, what do I have in the fridge? What is easier to order? Let me have a pizza so I don't have to think about it. I don't have to make a decision because I'm tired. Making decisions kills our energy. We have a number of decisions we can make per day. And then after that, you are just going to decide what's easier, or you're going to talk to someone by your side and say, can you decide? Because I don't have energy to decide anymore. And routine help us. Do you want to grab the subject and continue developing it?
Yeah, I can do that. Yes, you are one of the most inspiring people to routines that I know. You are very systematic. I think your personality just loves to be part of systemic things. Okay.
Mhm, mhm,
And of course, you're not a slave of that. You actually are the leader of that because if you want to break a routine to have a coffee with a close friend, you're going to do it
mhm.
and you won't suffer by doing that. Okay. So I think the mindset that is behind those decisions are extremely important. Um, Imagine having a life where your default is a disciplined person
Mhm.
with consistency, with lightness, but at the same time, having flexibility to accommodate new challenges, emergencies, or if you want to take the afternoon off, and you can do that. Okay. Uh, and it's a very, very inspiring way because you're very light about it. Yeah, okay. And I think by saying that, a lot of people that would like to be more disciplined or have more routines, maybe that lightness will be the hook to say, I should give it a try. Why not having that consistent discipline or routines with lightness? And I think that's life changing. Okay, probably you're not so aware of that, but it is amazing how easy you do that.
Nice,
Uh,
thank you.
yes, yes, yes. And of course, we are saving energy. Of course, we don't need to think. The decision is made, it was made days ago, weeks ago, months ago, or years ago. Okay. And
Mhm.
you're just continue to do that. So you save energy for the real problems, for the real things that you need to solve or to dedicate more time or to think about it. And that way your productivity rises on both sides,
Mhm.
on the
Mhm.
sustainable routines and problem solving. Okay. Uh, and that is just incredible how you do that. But one
Thank
thing that
you.
I would like to add is many times the word routine and discipline, people get kind of scared.
Yes.
Okay. And so I always try to find different words because sometimes it's just the weight of a word that make people quite reactive to that. You don't like those words, say it as a rhythm, say pace, say something that gives a sense of rhythm, of repetition, of consistency. Find your word for routine. And sometimes that is the turning point to start having a more mindful routine,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
changing the word to the one that makes sense to you. And then
Mhm.
start from there.
Yeah, because sometimes people think that routine means boring, and it's not. Routine, in my case, it's freedom. It's freedom. It means freedom for me. Because if I have a routine, a well organized routine, I'm going to have time to live my life, to create, to enjoy, to do meaningful things. I'm not going to use my time and my decision daily things, in daily tasks, if I can tr- transform it into a process and it's going to be automatized, I'm going to save energy, I'm going to save time for the things that really matters. And I think
Mhm.
this is incredible. And this is my definition of smart routine, which means transform your daily life in a routine that's consistent with the life you want to have and the goals you want to achieve. For example, nowadays everyone knows that doing exercise like strength exercise is important. It's not just important, it's essential to have a health, uh, to grow old in a healthier way. But it's not going to work if I start when I'm 70. I have to start it now. So imagine if every day I would wake up and decide if I'm going to the gym or not. Every morning I'm going to say, you know what? Today I'm not coming because you know what? It's raining, or I didn't sleep so well, or I have so many things to do. No, mornings The first thing in the morning after breakfast is the gym 4 days a week. I'm not going to decide which day I'm not going. I already decided that months ago when I decided that I have to go to the gym 4 times a week at least. So Friday is the day I'm not going. It's decided. I don't have to waste time deciding that. So at the end of the day, I'm still going to have the energy to do what's important or what brings me pleasure. And for me, this is a smart routine. You want to give another example because you are really good with routines as well.
Yeah. For example, when I'm teaching classes, I highly recommend like the evening classes. Those are the most interesting ones. If you're gonna give an evening class, I always suggest decide your dinner before entering the class. You cannot believe how many times students they give me a feedback saying, today was hard because I was still deciding what to eat or what I'm gonna have for dinner, if I need to go shopping or not. And I immediately say, why haven't you decided before the class? That way, the decision is made. You know if you need to go shopping or not, if you need to go to the grocery store or not. And then you enjoy the class and being mindful. And for that, like, yes. So when you need to take decisions, as you are mentioning, uh, try not to overlap tasks and leave those decisions open. Okay? Like that. You are going to have a 1 hour of mindfulness in a class with me, but you still have that doubt of what you're going to cook for dinner,
Mhm.
you're gonna lose part of the class because you'll not be 100% there. If you take the decision before the class, you're gonna enjoy way more of the class. And having that in mind, you can do that for your meetings, you can do that for your tasks, you can do that for so many other things. Okay? Take the decision as soon as you can so that doesn't buzzes your mind for hours and hours. Okay? So that's a one good tip that I give to that I usually give to people. And the second one is when you want to turn something into a habit, make this new habit as close as possible in time to an existing habit.
Mhm.
Okay? Like you do, like I do. We have our breakfast, we do our routine at home, and then we go to the gym. There are those things are non-negotiable. Okay, like have breakfast, clean the house, do that routine in the house, go to the gym. So
Mhm.
things that you'll never think about it, but doing
Yes.
it as a sequence, the chances of success are way higher than saying I'm going to the gym at 11:30 a.m. because it's going to be tricky to, oh, I need to wait for the gym hour. Oh, I'm late for the gym hours. And it just doesn't work that way. And the success goes way low. So when you try to build as blocks or associating one habit to the other to make a more mindful routine, usually that's gold. Okay. And by doing that, your chances of succeed with a new habit, with a new routine, or to upgrading your routine, they go really up. So that's those two tips that I have for this subject here.
And it's always or almost always the small things. So for me, the small things, they transform everything. I'm gonna give a silly example, but I see people stressed out with that. We have in our home a container where we put all our skis inside, and it's close to the door. So whenever we arrive home, I put there my house keys and the car keys. So I don't have, when I'm going out, maybe in a rush, who has the car keys? Is it you? Is it me? Is it in my purse, in your pocket, in the jacket? Oh my God, where is it? No, it's always in the same place. I don't have to think, okay, I'm going to arrive home and put the keys here. Probably the first week or the first 2 weeks, I had to do that. But then I don't have anymore. And I already saw people so stressed out because a silly thing, because of a small thing. So we should keep our energy and our stress to the big things that are not under our area of prediction or control. In those ones that we do have it, it's just go. Another simple example, when we had the blackout last week, we didn't have to worry if we had food or not because we did have food at home. We don't wait until the fridge is empty and doing echo to start to think about going to the groceries. We go to groceries. We always have a spare medicine, even though we don't take daily medicine. Those ones that are important, we have it, so we don't have to worry about it. And so many different things that are part of our routine, because if you see the routine as the boring part that you don't want to do, you're going to be slave of that because, oh, I do have to do that boring thing today again. And you postpone it. And the more you postpone it, more space it has inside your mind. If it's something that's inside your routine, you just go and do it. It doesn't own you or it doesn't own your peace. It's interesting, right?
Yeah, yeah. And at the end of the day, that's a really useful stress management tool because you are saving energy, focus, dedication to what really matters. So if you are still having things open in your mind and you still have to deal with important things, it's going to drain all of your energy. So when you build a consistent routine, you're just feeling stronger to accept those challenges. Your potential will just grow and grow and grow because you are equipped with those skills, with those tools. And that's life changing. Okay, almost like thinking about routines and mindfulness practices are safe investments on your savings account, and it's just going to you're just going to win. There's no lose. There's no way to lose that. You're just win, 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 win. And that's how productivity works. That's how your focus is improved. That's how, even to make that switch between like your work life and your family life or your private life, you'll be it will be way easier for you to manage and to switch from one to the other because you still have energy, you still have vitality to do that. And usually those routines, you always have something just for yourself. Okay, a moment for yourself. Is it going to the gym? It can be. Is it time to read a book? It can be. Is it time to rest, take a power nap? It can be. Okay. If that's aligned with your purpose, with your lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
so it should be that way. Okay. And it's a great investment, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. And I was thinking the next subject could be how to incorporate the new routines in your life because it's hard. You have to have some discipline to incorporate them and to so that can be so consistent. That's going to be part of your daily life. But the, the first days or moments, they can be hard
Mhm.
to incorporate the new routine. And one tip that I can give is try to understand the meaning of this new habit or new routine in your life. And we were talking about that earlier. That for me to make a change or to change something, it really has to be meaningful. Otherwise, I am not going to do it. But one time I understanding and I take the decision, it's done. Consider it
Mhm.
done. I am going to do that in my daily life until it still makes sense, while it still makes sense. Uh, do you do a relation between the routines or the discipline to create a new routines and our techniques, or how our techniques could help to incorporate new smarter routines in your daily life?
Yes, yes. Uh, m- Many of my students, they usually say that at the end of a class or a session, they take better decisions. And the reason why that happens is because they are training for 30 minutes or 1 hour to be present. And that sense of awareness in the present moment, they that gives just a wisdom, actually a wisdom for better decisions. Okay.
Mhm.
And I know that many of them, they struggle to say, I still have things to do and I need to do a class. And the time just moves forward, right? And they struggle with that. But then when they follow their heart and they do the class, and I did it well. Now I can take better decisions for something that was still open. Because sometimes it's just a problem that doesn't have an easy solution. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that consistency, that time for oneself is just so important to align your decisions with your purpose, or at least with your sense of direction in life. Uh, and if you don't take time for yourself, if you are always doing things for others, you lose that point of view. Okay. It's going to be hard to find that awareness of building habits or take decisions or mindful decisions to yourself if you don't take care of yourself. A lot of our students, they understand the class as self-care, as self-awareness, as sense of belonging, among many other values that usually happen during the class. But a life without all of that, you're going to be probably slave of the needs of others. Okay. So when you have the time for your class, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, it doesn't need to be a specific amount of time, but you are present there and you are fully aware of what you're doing, then it's easier to make better decisions aligned with your purpose, things that you want to achieve. And so it is just a perfect match of habits, routines, the practice, because they just blend into one thing only. And that's the DeRose Method. That's that perfect combination of habits, behaviors, routines, practices for a more mindful lifestyle. that many of our students want to build. And I think those who are watching, they want that too, right? So it is just spot on.
Good. And maybe this is a good moment to introduce that concept that I really like to use in my daily life of the floor and
The ceiling.
the ceiling. Sometimes or usually our objective is the ceiling, but it's okay if you are not in the ceiling every day. What do I mean by that? Sometimes I do fail. I don't go to the gym, and it happens, but it doesn't mean that if Monday I didn't go to the gym, I'm not going any day, because you know what? I already didn't go on Monday. It's okay if I didn't go, and they like to go back to your routine whenever is possible. Oh, we have a weekend, we're gonna have a party, we're gonna have a pizza, or we are traveling and we're not, our meals are not under control. It's okay. When you come back, you do your best. Like, that's what you said earlier. Our routine, they shouldn't uh, bring this to our routine. It's just a path. And sometimes we're going out of the path and then we come back again. And then we're going out and come back again. We know the objective, we know where we are going, but it's okay if we are not going in a straight line towards
Mhm.
our perfect routine, if this exists or not. But it's more a path than something really rigid that we don't have any flexibility about it, right? I think this is
Yes, yes.
an important consideration to make.
Yeah.
And how can people that are watching us give the next step to a more powerful and a lighter life? Life can be at the same time lighter and more powerful if it can. What
Mhm.
are the first steps to reach this powerful light life that I think everyone wants it?
Yes. Um, I think that the first big step, I think, and one of the most important, is your goal in life. Okay, and it doesn't need to be philosophical. Okay, it can be something simple. Okay, to have a dog. Okay, have a life with a dog, and you don't have it, and a life with a dog is your big goal. Don't be ashamed of that. If that is what really matters, you need to be honest and true to yourself to decide that what really matters, what is really important in your life, what is that big goal. And then synchronizing with that, you're going to build a routine, you're going to make the decisions, you're going to adapt your life in that way. But don't be the slave of that routine. Okay, just
Exactly.
be flexible. Okay, as you know, on the previous week, and not the past one, the other one, we were working in the catering, a lot of food, preparing a lot of food. And one of the highlights of our work, to serve 80 people 3 meals a day, was the flexibility of schedule, flexibility of the place where you're going to serve the food. You cannot impose yourself into others. Sometimes it was tiring, yes it was, but that flexibility was way more meaningful than breaking the plans. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
have the recipes, we have the ingredients, we have everything, but still that kind of flexibility, making moments of assessment to see what we still have, leftovers or not. And that's so important. That's being so present and being adaptable is just gold, is pure gold to achieve your goal. Okay. And that flexibility that you build gives you the lightness and the strength to reach your goals.
Mhm.
Okay. And I think that flexibility, adaptability, you can use any word for that. It is the soft skill that you should train to have a very a very vivid image of your goal, nice routine, and still have lightness and strength at the same time. Okay.
Nice, beautiful. And before we end, I think you have an invitation to make. So this is the moment for the invitation.
Yes, yes, yes. So, about this subject and others, I'm going to have a webinar which will be this month on the 14th. It's a Wednesday, 8 p.m. in London time, which means 3 p.m. in New York time. And I'm going to talk about this subject and others. It is about stress management, it's about stress tolerance, it's about things that surround uh, skills that we can develop and improve so we can manage stress. Okay, and understand stress as well. So routines are just an amazing tool. Lightness, flexibility, adaptability are just amazing tools that going to talk about in that webinar. So you're invited. Very, very soon, we're going to have our landing page to enroll going to be on the bio of our Instagram account, DeRose Meditation. And you can always reach out to us and ask for more information, and we'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you, Nuno. Guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching us and have a mindful week.
You too. Bye bye. Take
Bye
care. See you next week.
bye.